I just got my new Tanacom 1000 electric reel by Daiwa. I'm going to be spooling it with this J-braid 8 strand. It's also made by Daiwa. Colored every 10 meters, different color. This is 1500 meters. It's 65-pound braid, so I think it said something about 50-pound braid. This reel can hold 1,000 meters, so I'm hoping I can fit at least 800 to 900 meters of the 65. That's about 2,700 to 3,000 feet of line. So I'm gonna run to the store, find a new rod for this, and then we're gonna go to the boat and I'm gonna spool this, and once it's spooled we'll do a little bit of testing on it, see how it reels, test out its features, and then we're gonna take it offshore and see if we can put some fish in the boat. Alright, so I just picked up this new rod from West Marine. It's a Daiwa. And surprisingly, West Marine has really good prices on their rods and reels, depending when you buy them, if there's a sale going on. But I paid $180 for this rod. It's a 5.6, I think 60 to 150 pound rod. Where does it say that? Yep, there's the specs on it. The cheapest place I found it online was 180 bucks, plus shipping. So, and you had to wait to get it, obviously, and I need this tomorrow because I plan on going out. So the first thing we're gonna do is tie a slip knot, because as you can see, there's a little notch here, and that is for attaching your line. So you don't need to add mono line on here to prevent slipping, because you can just directly tie it on there. So the first thing you want to do is take your slip knot, bring it all the way through. Make sure that when you pull it through, it goes through the eye feeder right there. And then we're going to tie it on there. Alright, so you can see my line goes through all the eyes, through the feeder hole, and it comes out here. So all we're gonna do is gonna be hard to do with one hand. Okay, so I'm gonna actually make this little loop a little smaller so it's easier to work with. Yeah, so I'm gonna make it a little bit smaller. This would be a lot easier with only... Okay, here we go. And then pull it tight. And you're pretty much ready to turn it on and start feeding the line. Make sure when you hook up your Tanacom 1000 or any electric reel, make sure it's hooked up to DC and not AC. AC is alternating current. It's like an outlet in your home or something, but it's got to be DC, and all batteries are DC, so any battery will work just fine. I have this battery in the front of my boat, and I also have battery back here, but I use this battery primarily just for starting the engine, so I don't hook that to any of my electronics unless I'm charging the boat while I'm running. Also, one thing I'm going to do is get the line a little wet with some fresh water, because when the line's wet it helps it stick better, and it kind of I guess molds better into onto the reel and onto the rest of the line. So I'm just gonna sprinkle a little bit of water on it, let it soak that up. And then I'm just gonna let it sit for a couple minutes. There we go. Put this back here. Alright, so just for the first part, I'm just going to use my fingers. I'm going to end up putting gloves on in a moment. Those with parchment paper between the lines so it doesn't fray on the gloves or anything. But just so you can see how it's going to go on smoothly. It's going to be a little hard, but I'm going to put the throttle up a little bit and you'll see it spin on. Alright, I'm going to put on gloves now before I burn my fingers. Alright, so here I am. I got it kind of winding under one finger, over the other finger, and back under a finger, and then over my thumb. That way I can keep a nice amount of tension on the line so it goes on decently tight. I am in the speed setting number 7. I read that was a good setting for putting your line on. I was using parchment paper at first to squeeze the line, but it was so slippery that I wasn't able to get any tension on it, so I'm kind of asking myself, why didn't I just go to the store and pay someone $15 to do this? But you can't beat the view, so I mean, I guess it's okay. I'm not complaining. Spending my Sunday, or my Saturday, spooling up this reel, and then tomorrow we're going to actually put it to the test, and I'll kind of run through some of the settings when we're out on the water tomorrow. Been at it for a while, and I think I got a lot longer to go. On the bright side, never mind, I don't know what the bright side is. Fishing tomorrow? Once I almost have a full spool, I'm going to try to add maybe 50 yards, if not 100 yards of this 100-pound test mono. It's kind of the top leader. But most likely I'm only going to be able to fit about 50 yards on there. Well, I've been here for 45 minutes already, and it's still not all the way done. Okay, so that number down there on the bottom, 6.7, that's kind of the tension on your line. And when you're spooling, you want that tension to be between 5 and 7. If it's too high, like here, I'm going to let go, not put as much pressure on. You'll see it bounce up to 18. That means you're not giving enough tension, which means that when you catch a big fish or something, and there's a ton of tension on it, your Power Pro is going to bite into the other Power Pro and like leave, kind of bite into itself. So I'm going to use a little more tension. Well, it's been like an hour. Actually, it's been Or like an hour and 20 minutes. We're starting almost there. Oh man, my hand is exhausted. Alright, so I'm back at home and I packed on as much line as I think could fit on there. There's not too much space here and it's kind of going above this spool, so I think it's like, if anything, it's probably overpacked already. And I didn't put any of the mono top leader on because, so the pressure on that it was showing on here when I was spooling, it was probably between like 6 and 15. So tomorrow I'm going to drop a weight and drive the boat, and if that pressure is more, like, you know, between 4 or 5 or 6, or like has a lot of pressure on it, then I'm just going to drop a weight, drive the boat until all the line is out, and then reel it in with that higher pressure so the line on here is much tighter. Because if you can see, it's on there pretty tight, but if I pull really hard, I don't know if you could see that, the line kind of bites into this a little bit. You don't want your line to bite because then it can go under other lines, and which can cause knots. So I think it's on there pretty tight, but we'll find out tomorrow. Alright, we're out here on the boat. I got the Tanacom 1000 hooked up to my second battery in there. We're in 530 feet, marking some fish on the bottom, and let's drop it down. So what I got here is this is a 4-pound weight. It's got this slender design so it fits in your cup holder, which is, or not cup holder, rod holder, which is pretty epic. So we'll go by tossing these 3 baits overboard. It's a combo of squid and some mackerel that I caught. Just drop your weight down there. Alright, now you're ready to deep drop. So what you're gonna do is you flick this lever right here, and that's gonna open your spool. Whoa. There it goes. If you look at the counter, it started at 0, but now it's going down, and it's counting in meters. There, you can see that we're 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. So that'll count how much line you have out. Alright, line stopped going out, which means we hit the bottom. If you watch the rod tip, you'll see it go down and then get whacked a little bit. That's the weight. You know what? Actually, I think we have a fish on. Yeah, we got a fish on. So what you do is you push this lever right here forward, which will start bringing your line in. The more I push it forward, the faster it's going to pull the line in. Yeah, and there we see it coming up. 135, 134, 133. $25 meters, whatever it is, it's almost up. All right, when it gets to about 5 meters, it'll automatically stop, so you have to push it all the way down and then back up again, and it'll start pulling. I see some color. All right, so that's the max, and so now I'm gonna have to hand crank it. You can zero it out more. I zeroed it out so it stops at 8 meters.